All right. Welcome to another edition of Scenario Remix. Matt Widener will be joining us soon, he said, in a second. But we got the two homies that know about the health and wellness and the getting your body right and getting yourself together. They went to Mizzou. I won't hold that against them. That but they brothers of mine, my man Heath and Diontre, man, from the Title Boxing Gym, man. Thank y'all brothers for coming on, man. Let how y'all been doing.
Man, appreciate you first of all, you and Matt. Whenever he gets on here for having us, man, it's a cool opportunity. I've seen some of the other podcasts and just kind of the interesting topics. I mean, obviously we've had many discussions off camera, heated debates about everything from sports to politics to women. Usually there's some beverages involved. So I'm just glad to be on here, man, and rap with y'all cats for real.
Yeah, man. Like, so let's get into y'all stories, man. Y'all both Kansas City guys. I won't hold that against y'all as well. Um, I mean, it was and it's so funny because me and Matt was talking about. I think Brandon gives the most slight to St. Louis in general. Like, we don't really have no problem with Kansas City. It's really more Brandon. It's more Dub that really
That's
like
a fact.
pushes it.
That's a fact.
He really put like I never really had nothing problem with Kansas City people till Dub, like because he just pushes it to the limit.
He's a limit pusher in general, though. He's a limit pusher in general.
Yes,
Exactly. Habitual limit pusher.
yes.
Line step.
And you see why he's an attorney. That's what what I'm saying. Like okay, I'm
Yep.
gonna see how much
Yep.
we can get over with this. So
Right.
how did y'all? So let's talk about your story, y'all story. So how did y'all meet in Mizzou and come up with this concept to do a gym together?
So how we met at Mizzou. I'll tell the edited version. Heath had a drinking problem at Mizzou. I'm messing with y'all. So we met. We actually pledged together. Dopest fraternity in the world, Alpha Phi Alpha, and that's how we connected. And honestly, it was weird because I'm a little bit older than Heath, but we ended up being on the same line, and it just like you link up with cats and like you just kind of got a vibe with them,
Mhm.
and we was just like homies like from then on. So
So did y'all know each other back home in KC?
nah, nah. He grew up in the hood. I grew up in the suburbs. So,
Actually, yeah, got it. Got it. True.
So D, where'd you grow up in KC?
I actually went to a suburban school. I didn't grow up in the suburbs. I went to Blue Springs South, so we were
Okay, the DSEC
far
program.
far suburbs. Yeah, far suburbs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Almost in the
far.
country. Yeah, and he was in the thick of it.
And then Heath, where'd you go, Heath?
I went to Center High Schools in KC, so yeah, in Kansas City. Like I say, it was a thick of it, like D said, thick of it, but it was a school that was very diverse. So it gave me a good opportunity to be around a lot of different type of people.
Was
So
that a magnet school?
no, it's just the Center School District is a small school district, just one high school, one middle school. It's like right outside. It's like right if you like know anything about KC, it's like right next to KC Mo Public Schools, like on that line. So it's a lot of cats that it's like almost it's quasi suburb, but it's still Kansas City. You know what I
So
mean?
it'd be like Berkeley.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm. That's a good comparison.
He said it's a good comparison. So how did y'all y'all players together, and then how did y'all come up with the concept of doing a gym together?
Man, honestly, this is like the fourth or fifth iteration of things we've done, man. So when D graduated, he moved to Chicago for a little bit, came back to KC, and then when I got back, we our first hustle, I don't call it hustle. My first hustle, we got into real estate, man. We got our we was always some dudes was trying to get on. You know what I
So
mean?
it's
We was
probably
like,
like oh 03, oh 04. I'm assuming when the real estate
yeah, it's
bubble
04,
was
man.
big.
Mm.
Oh 04.
Everybody was getting money.
Yep,
Everybody.
that's when I got in real estate too. That's when it was big.
Yep. That money was flowing from the government. We said, "Shit, we gotta get on this joint, man." So we got our income tax return. You know what I mean? And got on like for real, like got our income tax return and bought our first duplex. And then after that, we bought a triplex. So we did that for a little. We started doing that kind of just getting our feet wet with entrepreneurialism. And then like our first like business outside of real estate was a frozen drink business. I know you know about Trops down
Hmm.
at I know Whitener does. I know for a fact Whitener does. So
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and Whitener used to be a staple in the community over there.
he was a staple. He was a staple. He was a fixture. So so yeah, we started this frozen drink business called Paradise Bay. We trying to sling these frozen drinks, man. So we had a little condo together, and we would have these tasting parties. Diontre and I, we bought this frozen drink machine, and Diontre at the time had been through bartending school. So,
That's hilarious.
so we used to buy a bunch of booze, and we used to come up with these recipes, and we pretty much just got drunk every weekend is what it was.
That's pretty much it.
So the business never picked up outside y'all condo.
Nah, but we kicked it though. We kicked it. It became the best social experiment ever. It's the best pickup line ever too. Like, hey, I got my own business. I sell some drinks.
Yep.
Tasting. It worked every time.
We made no money, bro. We made $0. Like
no zero. But we kicked it. It was fun. It was fun. I think
it was a branding experiment.
Yeah. Lesson learned. Your first business venture as a young man should never involve alcohol, because if you have a taste, you will consume.
Yes.
So no, what's crazy is, so when we started Free Time, the first thing we came up with was a frozen drink company called Slush Rush. It was called Slush Rush.
That's dope.
So check it out. We went down to Memphis and met the people from Wet Willie's. We was going like franchise it out and change the name, all that. And then like we just started doing parties and forgot all about it.
That's what the booze do.
We was making drinks all the time, and then we was thinking about alcoholic candy. That was our other thing, was alcoholic candy.
That's actually gangster right there.
Yeah.
But it's so many FDA regulations around it. We found out about that. It was like, it's impossible to do it.
I think girl, you probably noticed, I mean, being a hustler yourself, man, like when you young, you young like that, and you got full of just energy and ideas. To me, like that's like the best time, right, to come up with ideas, because like there's nothing that doesn't seem impossible. Like, oh, alcoholic candy, yeah, why not? Like, why not do that? Like at that time, I think that's a perfect opportunity to kind of like get your entrepreneurial, engine going for real, because like you're not thinking about what the ramifications are. You're not thinking about regulations. You're not thinking about societal impact. You're like, yo, it's a dope ass idea. Let's do this, right? And I think that's the beauty of that age and that vigor and that youth part. Like, yo, this idea is ridiculous, but we're gonna try it out, right? Like, I love that part about being an entrepreneur. Like, as you get older, I think you get a little more conservative. You start thinking about, well, will this make money? Like, what will will this even will this work fly from like a regulation standpoint or a legal standpoint? But when you young, you like, yo, let's get it, bro.
We'll figure it out.
Yep.
So what was the other businesses y'all had? So y'all had so there was the real estate the real estate was going on at the same time that the alcoholic spot was going on.
Yeah. So we popped that off, and then then we started a financial literacy website. Like so Diontre was into banking. I was on our full-time jobs I was on the investment side. I sold investment products, and we just kind of saw a need for people of color to know about financial literacy. So we started a financial literacy website. So we would produce content, whether it was like, at that time we were doing podcasts, we was writing articles, we was doing whatever, just kind of let young people know about financial literacy. So we did that for a little bit, man, too. That was probably about 2 or 3 years, D?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years. And I still think that was the best thing we ever did. It was just it was such a tough moment, like, because content had value, but people weren't really clamoring for content yet. The space we were in, the financial literacy space, is tough for people to digest without having a certain spin on it. And I think that's what we got good at, is writing for the culture, you know what I mean? But it was really tough. Like, it was tough for us to monetize it. We couldn't understand how we would monetize the concept. So, but still, I think one of the best things we ever did.
Yeah.
So the property's still going on at the same time too. So y'all still.
So we had Jamaicans, like 3-4 jobs. It's like the Wild West, you know what I mean? Cass is kicking it, running businesses, and just, it was crazy, man. It was crazy times. And then we went from that, and then we bought a tax franchise. We did income tax preparation for a couple of years, which was a learning experience.
Is it because of the clientele?
Yes.
Yeah, the clientele, the industry is mad seedy.
What do you mean by why is it mad seedy?
I mean, it's basically, without offending anybody, it's basically payday lending. It's high speed payday lending. You know what I mean? bigger margins. You know, you want to get as expensive of a return as you can get. You know, you got hustlers coming in the door with bogus W-2s. You got the pimps, players, and the hustlers at the spot, you know, trying to come up. It was a wild experience, man.
Is it because a person that is generally financially, you know, inept or at least financially available, they're going to have a real tax accountant or somebody doing their taxes?
No, not
Oh,
actually.
really?
You know what? I think one of the things I learned is, you know, we got a lot of up and up, you know, legit W-2 people coming in the door. I think people are scared. Generally speaking, I think people are scared of doing their own taxes. And the industry has created this idea that you have to have somebody doing for you, and it's worth the money to have somebody doing for you. And you know, for that reason, we would get a lot of people that walk through the door. Now, the most interesting people were the ones that had a story. We got a whole diverse group of people. We got nurses, we got people that worked at Ford. You know what I mean? It was all types of people.
Yeah, that was to me. I think Daryl, that was like to me that was what I learned when I learned the most. When I learned the most, because like D said, industry, the business, like we was in the middle of the hood too, bro. Like,
ooh,
we was on 63rd for sale, like right on the corner. Like it was hood. Like it popped off all the time. You know what I mean? But we was good at it. Like I think the reason we were so good at it, because at the end of the day, that business is not a tax business, it's a marketing business, right? So we just hustled. Like, man, we was out there handing out flyers to everybody. It was a Liberty Tax. So we had, if you know anything about Liberty Tax, like they have these waivers out there in Lady Liberty costumes, like dancing. And we had
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dopest
Okay,
waivers.
okay, yeah.
Like, our waivers was like lit all the
Lit.
time, like getting it right,
Literally
like,
and figuratively.
right. And it was right there on the corner. It was right on the corner too. So like it was a high volume store. So I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, we had the stories about people coming in. I mean, we had people, like D said, people coming in with fake W-2s, like claiming just random kids. Like, I mean, we had like all the pimp, like he said, all the pimps, players, and hustlers, man. Like they came in there, man, and the regular people too, and our staff too. Our staff was very diverse. We had CPA on staff, but we also had my cousins and his cousins who was some roundaway dudes. Who was some
He said
roundaway
my
dudes.
cousins.
Yeah, who were not CPAs, by the way.
So yeah, I was like, we just gonna prepare you, teach you how to do this stuff, man, and go sit in that corner and wait.
Yeah, and he touched on something that was real important, and I think so. We met up in college, right? We pledged the same fraternity, and our fraternity had a culture of I don't think we really knew it or understood it at the time. We marketed the shit out of our parties, out of our chapter, out of our personalities, you know, who we were, and not just on a campus wide scale, like almost like on a regional / national scale. So we learned. It sounds crazy. We learned marketing at a very early age, and when we went into the Liberty Tax, like we knew how to throw a party, which was crazy. Party, we knew how to paper the neighborhood up, you know, get word of mouth out there, let the finest girls know we was having a party, boom, 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 do all that. And then when we got into the Liberty Tax game, we still knew how to do it. So when it came to that word of mouth, making sure all the pimps, all the players, all the hustlers were to come get their taxes done, and by the way, pass it along, I think that really helped us when we got into that game, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So why'd you guys leave that game then?
Oh.
So we kind of like got to like a crossroads, like I would say personally, but also just from a business standpoint. I mean, like D has said before, that game it's a grimy game, man. It's not like you don't feel good, for me anyway. I think D said would say the same thing. You don't feel good doing it. Like you just like, man, this is kind of dirty, man. It's just kind of dirty all the way around, man. You just don't really feel good about doing it. So number one, I just started to be like, man, I don't know if this meshes with my own personal, you know, philosophy on how I want to live my life. And then number two, I was at a point, I just got married. My wife got a job here in St. Louis. So it was like, okay, we looking to move, and it was like, this wasn't a good option for us anymore. So it was just a mix of, okay, personal reasons, but also like just, it didn't mesh with our our character and how we wanted to operate going forward as far as doing business. It just wasn't. I didn't really. It's not one of those businesses you like. Okay, I'm changing the world for better. You know what I mean? Why you doing? It's like, yo, get money and go type of thing.
Yep.
So is it because it's like what is the percentage of people that want to get that upfront money and then the people that say like, I just want you to prepare my taxes, I'm gonna pay you $100?
The people that want the loan, for lack of a better word, the percentage is high. I mean, based on where you are, and we were in one of those areas where the demographic, the income was low, so people were coming. They needed that money so that they could survive. And like Heath said, people were there to get money, but you knew you could basically charge them whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting $5,000 back, you know, hey, it's going to cost you $500 to get your tax return. And people are like, okay, you know what I mean? Thinking that that's 10%, like,
right.
it was, you know, these 5 forms and I'm gonna get 10%. And then people was getting more than that. And like he said, at the end of the day, when you go home, it's just like, I don't feel good about what I'm doing. Like, it's not a good feeling.
So it was a more moral standpoint. So you basically, it was because you felt like a low level payday loan, basically.
Yeah. Coming from somebody who from time to time has fluctuating morals, it was it was real tough for the kid. I was just like, man, yeah, I don't know about this. This is, plus it was, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's when you run a business, it's about scalability, right? You know, to be able to grow. And that was another thing we didn't see. Like, we didn't see the runway for the industry we were in. You know, when you talk about technology coming into play, you know, people were getting more savvy with doing their taxes themselves. Like, you know, H&R Block is a Kansas City company. And they were touting the hell out of just do your own taxes. Like, you know, we'll $49 do your own taxes, you know, but if you come to us, it's going to be somewhere around $300 to $500. And we saw that early. And I think that's one of the good things. One of the skills and or talents that we had as business managers is seeing what the future is going to be for that industry. And along with the moral challenge, it was kind of like, this is probably a dying industry anyway. So let's just go ahead from it. So we saw.
Is it still a dying industry? You feel you guys still feel it's a dying industry, or is it more like just kind of like radio, where it's like on its last leg?
Like it's on its last leg. I mean, it's gonna always be a certain percentage of people that use that service, just because, like, from a income / education standpoint, you know what I mean. That's what they're gonna do. But I mean, I think the industry is changing so much and so fast that it's just, I don't see a long runway for that business anymore. It's just, it doesn't seem like that's something that people in the next, for the next 5 to 10 years are going to be flocking to do. So.
Wow. So how did the gym come up, man? Like that, like y'all been in almost every avenue of if you had a hustle pie, y'all only got like 2 or 3 more left before y'all got every piece of the pie.
Oh, let me throw this out. So
so hold on, let's open the pie up.
Yeah, we forgot a little sliver of the pie. This is like some crumbs. So at the same time we running the tax business, the building that we had part of it. So it had a second part. Like it used to be an enterprise rent-a-car, and you know how those buildings are set up. So it had a second. So I came to Heath with this crazy idea. I was in business banking, and I would always meet people, and this cat was like, yo, I do glass services. I do glass work for cars. So I came to Heath. I was like, yo, I got this idea. I think we can, just smash the game with this glass repair business. So again, kind of the Heath's point.
So you got taxes and glass repair in the same building.
yeah. It's wild. Like what Heath was saying, when you're young and there's no restrictions on your thought process. Yeah, I'll put a glass repair business. Why not? So we get in business with this cat. We have all the best intentions, and at this point, I think we're somewhat seasoned business owners, so we know most parts of the game. So we get into this partnership, and dude is just mad shady, like mad shady. So it's money missing from the accounts. You know what I mean? It's wives calling talking about, have you seen my husband?
Oh, so, hold on. They call. Hold on. His wife calling y'all like, oh, he said he's working with y'all.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
Yeah.
Wild it's
so go ahead, Heath.
Yeah, like D said, it's all type of shenanigans, man. So the business, like I said, was the dude ran the whole premise was, all right, we'll be like the financial dudes behind it. You be like the man on the street, fixing the glass. You know what I'm saying? We'll make sure that and it worked out. He had stuff he's building out to him, that part of the building out to him.
Hey, Heath, turn your volume up a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
So we had subleased that portion of the business out to him. So the whole thing was like, okay, we can get money on the sublease part, and we'll own a percentage of the business. But
y'all like it's a win-win. That sounds like a win-win.
Yeah.
And like we had said before, they're like it's a high volume corner. I mean, this corner in KC pops. Like, I mean, it's thousands of cars a day go by there. So we like, yo, a glass repair place on this corner is gonna blow, right? Because it's got so much visibility and it's got a bay. You can just put your car in there, get it fixed up. Like, low key was a brilliant idea. Like, even it was, but the dude just was, like D said, he just was on some. He was a little bit older, I think, than us, and I think he thought he could game us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he was like, stuff was like, we'd be like, yo, what's up on the money for the rent? Like, oh man, bros, yada 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 yada. Like,
so he wasn't paying y'all rent, and he wasn't paying y'all rent either. Well, either was he?
Nah.
No.
I knew it. If he wasn't trying to split the bread on the partnership, I know he wasn't paying rent.
So deep game, boss. So one day, how it all came to a head was like 3-4 months into it. We ain't got no bread from the dude, son. Like, not $1. So all our names are on the account. So I'm like, man, but I never really checked the account because I'm trying to give good faith to the dude, right? So I'm like, man, all right, bro. So I go to the bank one day and I check the account. Yo, this got like negative $200 in there. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Turns out, old dude is like transferring money from the account to his mistress. He buying like he buying
plane tickets,
all type of wild stuff. So we confront the dude on it, and he get mad. You get mad, you lying, right? That's the first telltale sign. If somebody get mad, they lying. So he get all mad and yada yada yada. But turns out he just was on some super shady stuff, and we ended up shutting that business down.
Lesson
so
learned.
Keep the tax spot going. Was the tax spot still going?
Still going.
Yeah.
At this point, we round into selling it though, because we were Heath was relocating to St. Louis, so we eventually sold that business.
So was when y'all this was all going on, y'all didn't think about making a rib shack in there too? Y'all might as well have went on ahead and just made it a whole thing, and a liquor store in there too, like just taxes. Hey,
Daryl, I would have done it. I was the king of crazy ideas. I was like, look, because tax prep is seasonal. I came with, hey man, we can have a little shake joint. You know what I'm saying? Off season, you know what I mean? Just private, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, put a private spot. You got to pay the private membership or whatever.
Players and the hustlers, you know what I mean? So,
but Derek, this was a real idea you brought.
This is a real idea. This wasn't a joke.
Enterprising.
Because strip clubs are illegal in KC too, right?
They are.
I think it's the whole state of Missouri. I think, right?
Yeah. Terrible idea. Idea.
I think it's so. I'm gonna go somewhere with this if this is true. Is Kansas have strip clubs? The state of Kansas.
Yes.
Do they? I don't know.
I think Illinois and Kansas have a shaking hand thing with Missouri. Like, yo, y'all just keep it outlaw. We'll break you off a little bit to these two cities if y'all don't open up one. Because if St. Louis or Kansas City open up strip clubs, those two areas would shut down.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna throw 10 grand in your campaign every quarter just to keep it cool. Oh, it's a new mayor. Okay, well, hold on. What's your PayPal? What's your Venmo?
It's a fact. It is a fact. It is a verifiable fact that cities that have strip clubs are better cities. It's a fact. It's a fact.
I agree.
Tell me otherwise. It's a fact. Name a city that got strip clubs that's not. It's just not it's a good city, man. Just a state. It's a better state if you got strip clubs. Let the people have what they need. Let them have it, man. Let them have it.
Hey, look, I'm almost damn near libertarian when it comes to that. Like, I think it all should be legal. Let's let it all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
hold on. So y'all got the tax business, the glass business. D's trying to start a shake joint in there to supplement income during the off periods. And then y'all still running the real estate. So is the real estate still popping now, or is that y'all let that go?
Now we sold that a couple years ago.
Oh, so that was, I mean, it's still fairly recently though.
Yeah. We ran that for a while. Even here in St. Louis, we were still running that. So then, like I said, I moved to here. I got married, moved to St. Louis. So before that, though, back up. So I used to go to Title Boxing. Title Boxing is a franchise. I used to go to Title Boxing in Kansas. It opened up in Overland Park, Kansas. I was like, D, like, yo, this workout is done, bro. Like, and it used to, like, back then, this was like 10 years ago. It used to be.
Hey, turn your volume up, Heath.
Okay.
Your volume keep going out.
Okay, my bad. I'm looking at people coming in the door, and I'm like, yo, this thing is got to be making money. So we had originally talked to the owners of the franchise 10, 11 years ago, and there wasn't any opportunities in Kansas City. So then when we moved to St. Louis, we approached them again, and there was an opportunity to buy a franchise. So we actually bought the rights to 2 franchises here in St. Louis. We bought the zip code of 63130, which you probably know is U City, and then 63119, which is Rock Hill. So we opened up in Rock Hill in May of 2012. Is when we opened up the title in Rock Hill. So, and then the whole goal was to have multi-units here in St. Louis, but we couldn't find a real estate place in U City. So we ended up actually letting go of that zip code of 63130. So that's how we got to St. Louis running the Title Boxing Club brand. And then
it's not that much good real estate in U City unless you go, unless you finna. It's just it's a weird setup over there.
It's a weird setup, bro. And we see the thing is, bro, we bought that zip code site. We hadn't seen it. Like we just saw the demos on paper. We had never seen the actual. So we saw the demos, and I think if you look at a place's demographics, it doesn't give you a good picture of what that city actually looks like. Because in U City, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in certain parts of U City. And in certain parts of U City, is not a lot of money at all.
It's that Olive divide. It's the South on Olive. You got the paper. North on Olive. You already know what it is.
Even more complicated in U City is commercial real estate. The availability of what we needed, it just wasn't popping. We wasn't getting.
There was was it even space available even that for that big of a spot y'all would need?
Nope, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. So. So yeah, we ended up just focusing on 63119, which is Rock Hill, and that's where we're starting, man. So we got started, like I said, in May 2012, and just try to grow the brand from there.
So what what was it about that business that was like, man, this one's going to be better viability for you all?
I think like D said before, just the ability to scale it was something that was huge for us. We wanted something that we thought could have multi-units. We wanted something that you could have multiple streams of income in. So in the business setup, I mean, you have the membership revenue stream, and then you have the retail revenue stream, and then you have personal training revenue stream. So there's multiple streams of income. Now, what we didn't know about St. Louis is that St. Louis is a very difficult fitness brand city. We've found a way to be successful because we work hard and we've been blessed, but it's a very difficult city to operate fitness in. And we learned that.
Why is that? Why do you all think that is?
Several different reasons. I think that number one, like fitness isn't St. Louis fitness isn't it's not like Denver where it's like a healthy, high priority city. Okay. It's not like Minneapolis or Austin, or Nashville, where people I think in St. Louis, and this is not a knock at all, but I think people in St. Louis would rather go to the Cardinals game or the Blues game or go to the bar and hang out versus go work out. So it's not a really a fitness minded city. And then number two, income wise in St. Louis is very, the right word is like there's pockets, right? So there'll be a pocket where there's money and there's a pocket where there's not. So, it's tough to find a location where you can have, because we're a boutique brand, it's not $19 or $15 to come to the gym. It's a boutique fitness model. So the prices for memberships are higher. So you have to make sure you're in a place where income wise, your product matches available income in that area. And I think in St. Louis, that's kind of a tough thing to do.
Yeah, I think to add to that, I think what Heath is saying is fitness had been cheapened so much you know, $10 membership, you know, membership's $10 a month, it's $15 a month, it's $20 a month. And the difference between that $10 a month gym membership and what we did for $75, $80 a month, you got a gym membership in one, and then you got a fitness experience in the other. And those are things. And that was really difficult to try to sell, especially for two brothers from out of town. You know what I mean? So yeah, to his point, it had been cheapened so much. So we had to try to build the value in the experience.
And I guess those other ones, their business model probably is like, even if you spend $10 a month on it, even if you don't, you probably ain't gonna show up anyway. I could just keep you renewed every year, and then
Yep.
you're not even taking up no space, and it's just $10 a month in our pocket from you. You ain't gonna, because it's a kind of like you said, it's a cheaper model, so you're not gonna really maybe even show up. It's $10 a month. There's no really investment into it for yourself to even show up.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
100%. So people are not gonna
So
miss
is
it.
is it a thing of like I guess those was it Planet Fitness? What is the one that had where you can't come in there if you look good already or whatever? Which one was that one? Like if you look, was that Planet Fitness? Yeah, if you was already fit, you couldn't come in certain hours or something like that. Where like you intimidate other people. I was like, what?
And I mean, and the thing about fitness is, I from a marketing standpoint, a branding standpoint, it makes complete sense because, I mean, the reality is like the average American is just not fit. Like not in not shaming, but it's just that's the truth. If you look at just the data suggests that the average American is not fit. So if you cater your brand to people that are like, okay, you can come work out whenever you want to. Like you're not gonna be judged. You can come in and maybe not even sweat, but you can say you worked out. Like, you know what I mean? That's a lot of people like that checks a box for them. So from a branding standpoint, it's kind of genius, and I think that's why they've been able to be so successful because they're selling fitness, but they're really not. They're selling, to me, it's a psychological thing. They're selling to people. They're selling, and not always. Everybody that goes to Planet Fitness is not in there not trying to work out, but there's a lot of people that have Planet Fitness memberships that probably go to the gym 2, 3, 4 times a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think Heath, our best learning experience when we got into this game was understanding that we don't compete with Planet Fitness. You know, people come in all the time and say, well, Planet Fitness is only $10. And then we would have to be trying to explain, you know what I mean? But the thing about it, my bad, my screen went out. We're not the same from an experience standpoint. The things that we offer, the culture and the community that we have.
It's like a Benz trying to compete with the when we talked about a Hyundai earlier. It's like
exactly.
Why am I trying to convince you that this Benz is better than the Hyundai?
Exactly. And I think one of the things we did, Heath had a strong selling background. And all credit to him for this is we learned how to pitch our product in a way that magnified what we did versus pitching our product against somebody else. You know what I mean? And then people started to really understand that. It was like, yo, okay, I get it. Like, I'm here for this. Like, you could still have that $10 gym membership that you don't go to. That's fine. But this is not that. So we got really good at that. And I think that was a big part of our success is really creating that pitch and sticking to it.
How has it been during these rough times during COVID with the gym situations, man? Like, how has that been for you all, and how have you guys mitigated these times?
Yeah, it's been challenging, man, for sure. And I'm gonna say up front that I respect and I understand the policies coming down from Dr. Page's office. Like, we're not one of those dudes that like, oh, F this, yada yada. Like, I get it. Like, the number one priority that we have for people is to keep them safe and healthy. Like, that's the number one thing. So I understand what they're trying to do to keep people safe, and I agree with it. Now, do I, on a bigger scale, I don't agree with the fact that there's not been any support for businesses. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, it's tough to say, well, here's these restrictions for businesses, and then not say, well, this is what we're going to do to help you out, right? Like, that's the part that I have an issue with. But I understand the restrictions because we want to keep people safe and healthy no matter what. It doesn't make sense to have 6-pack abs if you're going to die on a ventilator. That's dumb,
Yeah.
right? That's just so I do definitely get that. It's been a challenge, but I think that what's helped us to sustain, and there's, I think, a couple of different things. Number one is Diontre is, I tell people all the time, like, if Diontre's name wasn't Diontre Marcel Dukes, if it was like John you know what I'm saying, Washington or whatever. Like he would probably be running like a major corporation because he's so strategic and so forward thinking when it comes to like how to position from a strategy standpoint in our business. But because he got a beard and his name is Diontre Dukes, he probably that's just the reality, you know what I'm saying?
I run a Liberty tax because of that.
That's probably got too much melanin, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So he's been able to help position us from like a financial standpoint to help us to be able to navigate that. And then number two is our brand is very strong. When I say our brand here locally, people really, you know, they ride with us, and they ride with us because they know we're gonna do what's in their best interest all the time. Like we take care of our members probably better than anybody when it comes to like just giving them the opportunities to work out and be safe and work out outside. You know, from the digital content standpoint, like, and I would say this too, like because we've been stand up on how we do business, like you're not gonna find nobody out there to say that we effed them over or that we played them the wrong way. Like our name stands strong, it rings, you know, it rings out there. So people like, yo, I'm a fool with these dudes, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna keep my membership, I'm gonna keep coming supporting the gym. Now, have we lost people? Heck yeah, we have. We definitely lost probably like 25% of our membership base. But
That's pretty good comparatively with a lot of places probably have lost membership wise.
Yeah.
We've been, and on top of that, like I've said it before, and I'll put our gym against anybody in St. Louis. Like nobody does this better than what we do. And I'm not in a braggadocious standpoint, but just like from facts, like yo, our trainers are amazing. Like the facility is always immaculate. Like the gym is super duper clean. We got all that protocol to make sure that you have a safe workout. If you want to work out outside, cool. We spent thousands of dollars on protective screens to have you so you can work out in a safe space. If you just want to stay at home, we have strong digital content for you. You know what I mean? We got all the accessories as far as the gym equipment. Like there's not really a place where you can go and get what we have at the price point that we have. So we feel confident that we just do this better. It's not like we trying to be braggadocious. Nobody's better at this than we are. I really don't think so. So I think people recognize that, like, yo, okay, I'm gonna keep rocking with these cats.
So what do you D, what do you think the future of fitness is? You said you guys have always been seeing what's the next steps, what's coming up next. What do you all, I mean, you ain't got to give us all the cookies in the cookie jar, you know, but you know, what do you see on a transitional level, what it's going to be?
Yeah, the reality is digital content is going to have a lot of value. I don't think there's going to be I don't think we'll go away from the brick and mortar fitness location, but I think there will be more value in creating good digital content. And when I say good digital content, I mean next level digital content that people can access from wherever they are. I think that's just the way we're going. I think if you think about your mobile device and what you look at, like, I mean, it's really easy to go to it and pluck a workout. Like you see somebody working out on Instagram, you're like, oh, I'd like to take that, you know, that combination and take it back to the gym. Well, COVID has pushed so many people into their homes and they realize, hey, I can do this. Like I can have still a manageable fitness experience at home. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna go to the gym. That's not what I'm saying. It means I want a good digital option, a good digital solution. And I think right now it's kind of an arms race to figure out who can do it best and provide the freshest, most up-to-date content. And that's tough, man. It takes
It's very expensive, and it's very expensive to get new content constantly.
Constantly. That's what we learn in the financial services business. Content is exhausting, like, because you're constantly working, trying to stay ahead of the curve. So, I mean, I think people are trying to rush to it. I think Heath and I have an approach to digital content, and our approach is to do it the right way. Like, what we don't want to do is sprint out in front of it and make all the mistakes that make other people successful. Saying is we don't want to be the first to run out there and wreck. So we have an idea of how to get into the digital content game. And we'll see where it goes from here. You know, I think my personal thought is if there's a vaccine and you know, by next summer, people are starting to come out of the house, I think there's going to be a run on fitness. Like I think
I think it's gonna run on everything, man. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a
Like-
total like retread from what we see now, with everybody at home
Yeah.
doing stuff. I think people gonna start canceling their streaming services because they're gonna be like, man, I
Yeah.
ain't at the crib. I'm only gonna keep
Yeah.
Netflix and Amazon, like, and I'm not gonna need all the other ones because I'm out. I've been out all summer, like.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a capacity issue too, because in the midst of that, when you have this run, there's gonna be so many people that didn't make it. So the question becomes, if you made it, like, what have you done to make your experience amazing? So I think we're kind of dug in on that front too. Like when that run does happen, we want to make sure we're positioned to where when people come in, they're like, oh, this place is dope. Let me
I
tell
should have been coming there before.
I should have been coming here before. You know what I'm saying? And not that we don't want to go all in on digital, because we think people are coming back. You know what I mean? I think people are coming back. So it's a combination between the two. But it's a lot of content, man. It's gonna be a lot of content to be had out there in the world.
So what do you all think is your best training class at the facility, man? And this is the one that you had to suggest. Like, I'm just coming in off the streets, I work at Jiffy Lube, I'm the manager there, and I just need to go work out after a long day of changing oil. I need to, like, what class should I come to as y'all gym?
Man, I think for us, man, like we build our classes so that every class is amazing, and our workout du jour is boxing and kickboxing. So I'm not going to say one particular class because I think that all our classes are amazing. It kind of depends on, from a fitness standpoint, what you like. Like we have some classes that are super cardio intensive, like this I might die, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I mean, keep in mind he works at Jiffy Lube. He under the spigot. You know what I'm saying? Like he need a little bit of slower pace, man. He is the manager, but sometimes you gotta get up under there. You know.
Right. No doubt. So we got classes for everybody, man. Like I think the beautiful part of I tell people all the time, man. The best part of our gym to me is the best cross section of what St. Louis is like from a fitness perspective. Like I've been in every gym, not every 80% of the gym in St. Louis, especially the boutique fitness gyms. I've been in because I like to work out and I'm intrigued by fitness. So I've done everything from Pilates to bar to CrossFit to what I'm saying, the running class. I've done them like all the classes, right? And I've never been in a studio like ours because you'll have an 8-year-old in our gym, you'll have a 72-year-old in our gym taking classes, you'll have a black mama, you have a white mama, you have a gay dude, you have a gay lady, like you have Hispanic, like you have somebody that makes $500,000 a year, you have somebody that makes $55,000 a year. You know what I mean? In the gym, like it's really, to me, the best cross section of what St. Louis really looks like. And because everybody there is working hard at their own on their own goals, like nobody's tripping off the fact that this person is this or that. There's all those stereotypes, all those labels come off, right? In the gym, you just Matt or Joe or Shirley or whatever. You just, and everybody vibes, man. It's just, to me, it's one of the most beautiful things I've seen, because gym, when class is going on and everybody's working out, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter what your money look like. None of that matters. It's like, you're gonna grind, you're gonna hit this bag, bet, well, let's do it. And we can all sweat together, listen to the best music in St. Louis, the best trainers, the best vibe. In that 45 minutes or that hour, you're gonna get your butt kicked. You're gonna be all sweaty, you're gonna be exhausted, but you're gonna leave like, yo, that was amazing. And you'll want to keep coming back and back and back. And that, to me, the best thing that we do is we give people that experience. Like, while, like D said before, the digital content is very important. Like, our social media is very important. How the aesthetics of the gym is very important. All those things are important to me. The thing that we do better than anybody is you get that experience. You walk in that door and you get the opportunity to get what you need out of that class for that time. If you hate your job, your boss done pissed you off, your kids driving you crazy, whatever it is that you got in your mind, is that time for you to kind of get that out. And I think that's what we do better than anybody. We give back people that space to kind of have that 1 hour for like, yo, this is what I need. And what I think people realize now more than ever is that the physical component of working out is probably more important than, the mental component of working out is probably more important than physical, right? Like, it's good to work out physically, but shit, what COVID has taught us, this pandemic and crazy election process and all this stuff going on, is that, you need that stress relief, right? You need to be able to get that stress off you in a safe, in a healthy way, you know what I mean? So you can feel better about your day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was going to ask. Go ahead, D.
Yeah, I was going to add to that. Like Heath was kind of teetering on the community aspect of it. You go anywhere in St. Louis, and I'm gonna say maybe anywhere in the country, and if you see another person with a Title Boxing Club Rock Hill or a Title Boxing Club Maplewood shirt on, and you got one on, or you got an experience from there, y'all gonna click. You're gonna be like, oh, boom, boom, boom. You worked out with Heath at such and such, and it's that community experience that we push push like no other. Like I don't know of another fitness facility like he said that can rival us in that community feel. And it's not exclusive community. Like if you show up, you a member, even if you're not a member, you're welcome to the community. And this is how the community operates. And people respect and appreciate that. And they take that forward, and they talk to their friends and family about that. And I think that's another reason we've had so much success.
So what is the biggest thing you guys have learned during this pandemic, and not necessarily business wise, period, in general? Like, what has been the biggest thing? Like, man, like I learned a lot during the pandemic.
Me? I think for me, it's that you don't have nearly as much control as you think you do. I think it's super important, and we've practiced this a lot. It's super important to be prepared for those moments. You know what I mean? Whether it's saving your bread or, making sure you got it sounds crazy, have a catastrophe or a disaster plan or something like that. But I mean, the reality is for us, like if the county say you shut down, you shut down. Like you don't have any control. So now how do you manage your business if you don't have any control? Like what else can you do? Like, can you pop up on Zoom? Like, can you be agile enough to say, hey, we're going on Zoom for 2 weeks? Or can you be agile enough to say, hey, our capacity is reduced from, 150 people to 40 people. What are we going to do? Boom, we're going to be agile. We're going to roll it outside. This is how we're going to survive. So we just don't have as much control as we thought we did as business owners, especially in a global pandemic. But at the root of it is how you manage forward, how you manage through the process.
I say for me, man, I think it's the knowledge that there's going to be another day, right? Like when you never run a business, or you new to running a business, or you feel like something major happens negatively, like it's the end of the world. The reality is it's not. Like it's gonna be another day. The sun's gonna come up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be another day. Like you can get another opportunity to either fix what you messed up or to expand on what you already started to build. So just knowing that it's gonna be another day, and that even though if you had a tough day or tough 2 days or tough week, like this was a tough week for us. It's gonna be another day. You can get another opportunity to kind of go back real quick. So part of the story I think that's really important for people to know is, so we're in Maplewood now, but we were in Rock Hill for 7 years. And April 8th, which was my birthday of 2019, we got a call from our landlord. We had been in lease negotiations for a long time. And he called me and he said he was going to renew our lease. And it caught us completely off guard because we were pretty much ready to sign a lease. Like that's where we were. But he kind of backdoored us, and we were homeless for 4 months, man. So from running a gym where we were, top decile performance in the country, to where we didn't even have a space. Like, and it happened like literally with one phone call. And I was devastated. I tell D, like I was, because we lost everything, man. Like people don't get, like when people say you lost, like, oh, you don't understand. Like we lost everything, my nigga, everything, bro. Like all the money we had saved up, like the businesses was our retirement. Like people don't get, like people like, oh, I've been lost. Like, yeah, maybe you have been, like we lost, like we was down to nothing. And I had to tell my wife, I never forget, when I got that call, I had to tell my wife, like, and I got 2 babies. I was like, and I was crying when I told her, because I was like, I don't know how we gonna make it, because I lost the job. The gym is my livelihood, right? That's how I came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just got taken away just like that. Like,
did they open another gym in the spot, or?
Man, that's a whole nother story, big homie.
Oh, dang.
Trust no one.
Yeah, you
no
can't
one.
trust people for real. But anyway, so like, we was nothing. So, we had to gather ourselves mentally and emotionally to say, okay, what are we going to do? How do we put these pieces back together? You built this for 7 years. Like, what are you going to do now? And I think, to me, it was probably the most important piece of one of the most important pieces of our story, because it showed me and showed D and it showed the world like, yo, you can take everything from us. Like, we didn't have a place, bro. Like, we was homeless. We was running classes at parks, bro. We rented out soccer domes. Like, literally, bro, for 4 months we was homeless. We were just some fitness vagabonds, son. You know what I'm saying?
Well put.
Fitness vagabonds.
Place, bro, like, for real. And our staff, like 90% of our staff stuck with us, man. Like, they was like, yo, we're gonna rock with y'all. And then like 80% of our members stuck with us, bro. Like,
Dude, that's dope.
I mean, it's
so when we opened up, Daryl, so when we opened up again in Maplewood 4 months later, after being homeless, you know what I'm saying, not having a gym, we opened up with more members than we had when we shut down, bro. And that to me is a testament to our members, our staff, and the grace of God, man. Like, yo, like that's nothing but God's grace. Like that right there to me was like, yo, y'all can really do. At that point, you start to feel a little bulletproof. Like, oh, word, pandemic. I ain't worried about no pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like, what up? You know? So to me, that's a huge part of the story that people don't know. Like, you go from literally losing everything to, you know, like literally leaning on faith that you're gonna get back to where you were, and it happened.
Yeah.
So I got some random topics I'm gonna discuss with y'all, brothers. Y'all always got some good stuff to talk about. We talked about all the serious stuff. Let's get into some ridiculousness, ratchetry going on, man.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Did you guys catch the NBA draft? I have to catch the NBA draft.
I caught great chunks of it. I didn't see the whole thing with these little youngins running around here, but I caught.
Yeah, I think we need to keep the NBA draft virtual. I think this is the better way for us to see how you really came up, like where you really at.
See, man, I gotta say that's the part of it I didn't love. I like the pageantry. You
like them putting on the hat and walking up and all that?
Yeah, I like being in the same place, and I do like. I gotta say I like the production of people's lives. Even though it'd be kind of BS sometimes, the production of people's life stories and where they came from.
Oh, like his dad fell out of a tree and he had to recover.
He got hit by a bus.
You'd be like, dang, but his daddy sitting right here. He okay.
Exactly. When Jimmy was 12, he got diagnosed with a dead leg.
Right. Like,
he overcame the obstacle. Like, what? No, he didn't.
But he's 7'1". I mean, what obstacles? He's 7'1". Exactly. They was gonna figure out a way for his leg to be all right.
Exactly.
No, but I'm saying is because I like seeing the girlfriends and their moms hating on the situation. Like, oh, okay, we gonna figure out. Like, you can see the plotting a little bit more when it's in the home base, because mom to cook the nachos and the mustard choli and stuff. Everybody come through.
Not nachos, not nachos. The Rotel.
Rotel. You're right. Because mom's got
that crock pot. That was Rotel. That's a part.
And then you sitting there with the lady. Yeah, you sitting there with the. You know, you okay. Oh, so this who you messing with, huh? You know, that's almost like, guess who's coming to dinner? You know, like. Yeah.
I feel like now the media is looking for that gotcha moment. You know what I'm saying? And I think it started with the NFL draft when the homie got drafted and his girl tried to hug up on her and mom gave her the Heisman.
It was two situations like that. It was two of them like that.
Yeah, I think they're looking for that gotcha moment, and I think it's entertaining, but I don't think that's the right forum for that. Like, I think.
Oh, I love it, man. We need to have a reality series on it.
I don't like them. I don't like that. I don't like it, man. Let them cats get their shine in an appropriate setting.
Because my thing is, if I was a draft person, I wouldn't even go to the draft. Y'all got to come to my the gym I'm at, hanging out with the people, and show me kicking it. And I'm gonna get it sponsored. I'm gonna have everything rolled out. We gonna have vodka there for free, everything. And y'all gonna come out. If I'm a top 3 pick, I'm not going to the draft. I'm doing it at the crib.
I'm with you, bro. I love the little juicy side tidbits and like just speculation. Like, who is this girl? Like, I'm sure some other thoughts out there blowing his phone up. Like, you know, that's what I'll be thinking about. Like,
and then you see the real G's though, Heath. They don't have nobody there, but what was it, Edwards? He just came with a hoodie on, and his grandma and his mama pictures.
His grandma and his mama pictures. I saw that.
And he had like 3 other people there with him. And he the number 1 pick.
Y'all some Real Housewives of the NBA type of cats. I'm more of a Joe Thomas type of dude. I'm gonna just go fishing on draft day. You know, I don't want no.
I said I like that he did that though. That he just had on a hoodie. He had on a hoodie, man, and he the number 1 pick. He got on a hoodie and his grandma pictures next to him.
Yep, I respect that. I respect that. I like this. I like this new format, man. I'm with you, Daryl. I'd rather stay this way, man. I want to know the juicy tidbits. I want to know what
Yeah.
your mama thinks. I want to know like what your daddy thinking. Like I want to know if your uncles and aunties like
But
saying,
see, Casby, and this is where it goes too far. Casby like, and he only got a 42-inch TV. You know what I'm saying? He the number one
But no,
draft
that don't
pick.
even matter. I'd rather see you with that. I'd rather see you that instead of y'all faking like the Florida State fam, the dude that mom owned a floral business, and then they got the big old window panes overlooking Jacksonville in the background. You're like, no, y'all, and she dressed up like she dressed up. All like, I'm talking
But
about mom's
that could be legit. But that could be legit though.
no, it's
I
not.
don't know, man. This is Florida, man. If you've been to Florida, they don't get class until they get money.
Facts.
Hey man, hey,
I'm just telling you from my experiences there.
hey, 70. What is it? 74% of Black people are not in poverty. So
And she owned a floral business, so I mean,
yeah.
but she was stunning. She was out there looking like Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight on Versus. That's how she was looking at during the draft.
Clean.
Mom's is
I guess
clean.
I think my point is I don't want it to become a sideshow. You know what I mean, for these kids. And even though the kids will probably be more than welcoming to a sideshow, I would like to see the draft continue. All the drafts continue with some element of class. Like, don't be trying to get the gotcha moment where his side he's texted on.
He said no.
And then this girl is there, and then
No, I want to open up like so. Then you can make the beef with agents. Like, oh, so you went to his crib, huh? For his thing, huh? I'm the 8th pick. He the 6th. Oh, so you don't want my services no more. You ain't gonna come to mine? Okay.
This is what's wrong with America. This is what's wrong with America. We on a race to the bottom because of this.
We already been at the bottom. I just want to see it.
Right. I want to see it.
So I mean, so if you were at the draft, what would you wear to the draft? What would y'all wear to the draft if y'all were getting drafted?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm like you said, I'm from KC, man. Like I'm repping all hometown. I'm rocking the finest of Harold Pinter suits. You know.
Oh no!
With the KC embroidered down the side in the pockets.
Oh no!
6 thorough. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a Gates mixed plate there. You know what I'm saying? Like
at the crib.
I'm having
you have a presidential at the crib.
I have a presidential at the crib. I'm having 9 introduce me. I'm keeping 100% thorough. KC.
All in.
I wonder why people don't do something like that, because I think that would be amazing for your branding.
That's what I'm saying, man. Just on your brand. Like, I think these kids are doing that. I think these kids now, bro, all these athletes now, I give them so much respect and props for. They have now, for the most part, most of the kids, they know that they are a brand. They are very focused on making sure that they develop that brand. And I think that I think the person that, the godfather of that is Michael Jordan, right? But I think the person who took it to the next level was LeBron. Like,
of course.
Is like, yo, you can create a brand, and now your brand is worth way more than your basketball skills are, right? Like,
that's a fact.
Way more money on his brand than he ever will with NBA contracts. You know what I mean? Like, that's to me is what's so powerful about what these guys have. And not only do they fact they have a brand, that brand and that influence comes with power. So now they can influence social issues, right? Now they can say, nah, we don't want
that brand is portable. It's portable.
That brand is definitely portable.
Yeah.
Especially for
issue
basketball
to issue,
players.
team to team, whatever, it's portable.
And what's interesting, I was thinking about it, the person that could have been before the bridge between LeBron and Jordan was Iverson, but he didn't take advantage of it like he should have.
Yes.
Iverson could have been Iverson could have been a humongous brand. Humongous brand.
Was he not though? I think
he was, but I'm thinking he could have taken it to another level, because he had the streets and then he had white kids in the suburbs of Philly buying his stuff at the same time. But he just embraced it. It seemed like he didn't cultivate it.
I think we kind of get prisoner of the moment. I think Iverson did the most that he could at that moment. Like, Iverson wasn't a social media baby. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He wasn't a social justice baby or anything like that. Iverson existed in a moment where the NBA was transitioning from the Clyde Drexler, you know what I'm saying, type of brother, Michael Jordan type of brother, to who we have now, who LeBron is now. And I think he captured that in a really good way, in the best way he could. And I think what Iverson did, he'll always be an icon to the younger.
Oh, 100%.
he captured as much as he could, you know, without being a social media baby.
But he also set the NBA back 3 or 4 years too.
Did he? Did he? I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not going.
Not necessarily. I'm not talking about gameplay wise. I'm talking about like just everybody looked like him at one point.
But is that a setback?
Yeah, that's how the dress code came because of him. We could have been still wearing sweatpants and stuff. It wasn't for everybody want to look like Iverson.
I mean,
part of it was Iverson. I think part of it too was just that was the culture at the time. Like, you know,
yeah,
like, he was just the embodiment of the culture, right? Like, I think you're right. I think he greatly influenced that culture a lot. Everybody had their hair, you know, cornrow, like had the tats. Like, I think he was the embodiment of that culture. But I think that the culture at that point was so strong. I think the biggest issue, bro, too, Daryl, I don't think it was. I think it was just the skill level too. Like, the reality is at that point, the NBA skill level has started to deteriorate. Like, if you look at a lot of those guys who were getting huge contracts, they weren't nearly as talented or played as hard as the guys now. Like, I think what's underestimated now about these guys that are playing now and coming out is how good they are. Like, these dudes are.
I agree.
I mean, these NBA players now are the best NBA players that we've ever seen, outside of Michael Jordan. Like, these are the best NBA players the NBA has ever seen. Like,
and that's probably because the AAU system got better too. That AAU system and all that.
Development, I think there's such a huge focus on skill development, athleticism. Like, Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall and does what he does. Like, you know, the Greek freak is 7 feet like this. You have never seen guys like this before. Like, and even guys like smaller guys like Kyrie, that's like 6'3". Like, Kyrie's what he does with a ball, I tell people all the time, like, Clyde Drexler drove with his right hand and he drove his head down and his jumper was whack. Like, Clyde Drexler gets
his jumper was not whack, man. You need to take that back.
Clyde jumper was whack, son. Like,
he hit shots when they mattered. Don't disrespect the glide, son.
These cats are hitting shots off of one foot, bro. Like, these cats will cross you, hit you with the Euro step, and finish with the other hand. And that's nothing, right? That's a walk in the park for these dudes. Like, you compare the NBA now to what the NBA was in the mid 90s. The skill level was so much better, bro. Like, cats like Clyde Drexler, John Stockton. I don't even say this, and people might say this is heresy. Like, Magic Johnson would not be Magic Johnson right now, bro. Like, Magic was hitting you with I'm gonna walk you down in the post and hit you with
the back down he would do.
Oh, man, get out of here with that, son. Like, that gets no play now, bro.
I mean, Magic was still
hey, Magic would back you down from half court.
Magic gonna back you down from half court, son. Come on,
somebody would have stole your rock by then. Like, man, let me take this to rock.
That's blasphemy, man. That's blasphemy, Heath. That's blasphemy.
It's the truth, bro. It's the truth. Like Charles Barkley is 6'6". Charles is getting dunked on these days. Like, come on, man. Like, them cats back in the day, they just couldn't run with these. Outside of Michael Jordan, like, nobody's running with these dudes, bro. Nobody.
You know, it's funny. I be hearing this argument all the time in sports, but I never hear it in any other vein of society. Like, people never say, like, hey, man, look, if Martin Luther King was an activist, he would get no tick.
No. I do believe that, though. No. I do believe that. I do believe that.
D-Ray would have smashed him with the blue vest and the Twitters.
No. I'm saying he would have got caught up. I'm saying that everything. When you said using that, all them chicks that MLK was with, man, we would have.
Hey, watch your mouth, Daryl. Watch your mouth. None of that's been found.
All them white women would have been they'd have had all the article in Time magazine with all them white women on the front. Who's your king? Who's your king?
You done wrecked the whole podcast now, brother.
Look, hey, y'all know that's how the article look on Time magazine. All the white women. Who's your king?
Hey, cats ain't never said, yo, if Rosa Parks was an activist now, she would have got walked by Angela Rye. She would have got walked by Angela Rye because her game wasn't tight. She didn't have the words. It's only sports, man.
Because it's sports, because we can look at the stats and it's things like that. It's way less subjective. You know what I'm saying? Because you can objectively look at, like, okay, well, he scores 18.8 points a game.
Yep.
You know, and they can do this. You can't really say that, you know, well, she sat down 3 times on the bus versus Angela Rye's 1, you know, so she was better at activism. You can't, do it.
Very
I
true.
don't know.
I just say
guess.
everything is, if you can survive in this game of where everything is now, period, you're better than 30 years ago for whatever profession. I don't care what it is.
100%.
I mean, I will say this though. I think the players from 30 years ago, obviously, them motherfuckers was tough, like mentally
Yeah.
tough.
Oh, yeah.
I give credit where credit is due. I think these guys are good. I don't think they're built the same way as the guys
I agree.
years ago.
I agree.
Yeah, because they ain't getting paid. I mean, they ain't getting paid back then. And you had to go get a regular part-time job after the season was over in the late 70s.
Yeah. And it wasn't the love wasn't as great back then. You know what I'm saying? If you the third best player on the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? Nobody really knows your name.
Think about you were smoking a pack of cigarettes before the
Yeah.
finals. If you, I'm like now, a player cannot be doing that.
Yeah, you might be AC Green and people's like, AC, what?
AC Green? What are you talking about? I smoked the pack before the game.
That's just where we are from like a social media. Like everybody now is in the spotlight. If you are the 12th dude for the Lakers, somebody, you probably got 500,000 Twitter followers. Like for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like before nobody even knew who you were, but because of where we are society wise, our need as a society to try to figure out people's lives and stories, and I think everyone wants to know what's about somebody. Like that's just kind of where we are right now. And that's just even regular day people. Like I know people in the fitness influencers that like I still don't know what that means, but like fitness influencers like 500,000. Like what do you mean? It's 500,000 people that follow you on Instagram? Like no shit. Like it blows me away. But people have this, like what social media has done is tapped this some inner psychological stuff where it's to kind of mess with us, man. And it's weird because you kind of have to be on social media.
You got to, and I hate that I have to be on there too, man. I hate it.
I know exactly how you feel.
I hate it.
I get on Instagram and I'll be like, man, I hate this thing, and then I scrolling.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Then you be like, oh, that's a good idea.
You be like, why would she even pose like this? That is so disrespectful. Let me see what the rest of her pictures look like. It's terrible.
I hate it, but it's a necessary evil, man. You kind of have to be.
Yeah.
Have to be on it, but I hate it, bro. Like I think what it is too, we're in that generation, like we got caught in the middle of
I say we're the lost generation, man. I tell people that 5-year window that we all were in, we're not young enough where we really could take advantage of the internet per se, and we weren't 5 years older where we could really take advantage of, just having the only cat having a computer in the dorm room. You know what I'm saying? Like we were in that flux of like nothingness in the early 2000s, whereas it's like we don't know what this world gonna be like.
Yeah.
That's a very good statement. So we don't, like I said, we operate in it, but we don't, like these young kids, that's all they know. And if you older, if you like 50 or so, you're not really tripping off like whatever. You don't need to have an Instagram account. Nobody really cares you got an Instagram account anyway. But we're in that middle point of like people like, yo, you got an IG account? You're like, do I need an IG account? I guess I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
Be like, I got one, but I don't know my handle. I don't know the handle. Let me log on and see my handle real quick.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think there's a benefit too, because we know how to operate in both worlds, right? Like maybe I'm not as fluid operating on social media as my niece is, but I'm better than somebody that's older. But I can also have a real conversation with you too. Like I can go shoot the shit about whatever for 3, 4, 5 hours. Where these kids now, you put them in a space where they have to have a real conversation with somebody, and they don't know they don't even know how to talk to people, man, because they never developed that skill set. Like I know for a fact, Daryl, you had to go get numbers from chicks with just some pen and paper.
Oh, yeah. I used to have pens that match my outfit. Like
that's a St. Louis thing for sure.
Stunting.
Yeah, it's definitely a St. Louis thing.
Stunting.
and you would tuck your shirt in, because I used to have a little preppy style, and I would let the pen hang out outside there so you see I'm matching it. It's all matching.
So yeah, man, you had to be able to like actually go and talk to people, like, you know what I mean? But these kids now, they don't have that skill set. So I mean, I think that even though that they advance further than us on a social media tip, I think we'll still always be able to beat them in
one up them.
Yeah, one-on-one business. They just don't know.
Is this something I'm interested in?
Assuming people want to be talked to in the future.
And it's something I'm interested in y'all thinking about. I was reading an article. They're talking about people that all their pictures are on, like, not necessarily if they're an influencer, but they're just a regular person, and all their pictures of them working out. They were seeing like that's like a mental deficiency they're finding out now. Like every one of them is like, yo, I just worked out at the gym, and it's like every one of your pictures, like 85% of your pictures are you working out. That there's like some kind of deficiency or like a like not necessarily narcissist, but like you're kind of compensate for something that you don't feel good about in yourself.
Probably so, man. I wouldn't, I tell people that I'm a believer. Whatever you do, whatever makes you happy. But I do think that social media is done a lot of harm. I mean, it's done
Especially the old cats, especially the older cats. Like my mentor, man, I had to hit him up. I was like, man, you got too many pictures of you on your up here just you working out. You 55, man. You got to slow down, man. You got to slow down.
You know, I think the weird part about social media and people wanting to post, I think the problem with that is I think a lot of people post for feedback. And I read an article about this, and it was talking about the endorphins that kick in when you see somebody like your picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are really, really fishing for. Like, it's not that I worked out and I want to tell you about it. It's that I want you to comment on the fact that I worked out. And I think that's what people are fishing for. And I think that's the unhealthy and toxic part about social media. But people are addicted to it. Like, nobody talks about people being addicted to social media like they're addicted to cigarettes. But I think it's still a problem. I think it's a problem, man. I think it's a legit problem. Like, you got people, I think the addiction to social media is fueling people's mental illness.
100% it is.
Creating mental illnesses. 100%
it is.
Dang, that's ill right there, man. I mean, my thing is like, man, if I get to the point where I can run some other social media, somebody can run my social media, I would do it and be cool with not being on there at all.
I would too.
Like, it's getting to the point where people are doing selfies on their business page. And I'm like, I've seen that. I'm like, yo, why you got yourself working out on your business page? You sell carpet, but you got selfies on, like, that doesn't, like, and it's your business. That doesn't make marketing sense to me, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm promoting the business on this page, but it goes back, gets to the likes, though. Like D said, like, I want likes everywhere.
Yeah. And it's really, I think social media is a lot less about the bit, like businesses that have social media. I still think it's about the people. Like, people want to be connected to a person or get guidance from a person or be like a person. And I think that's the part of it. Like, I think why you see more brands that are embracing a person on social media is because they want to attract a certain type of person. So they get an influencer who is like that. Like, that's the person I want to attract. Let me get this.
No, I'm talking about, no, I get that. I'm talking about you on a barbecue shack and you on there. It's all, it ain't you in the kitchen. It's you selfies and stuff hanging out, but you on a barbecue shack. Like that, like okay, I understand what you're saying, no D. I'm talking about, I understand on a brand. I'm talking about you on, that's like y'all, for y'all business page, it's only y'all taking selfies. And but it's only y'all two.
Hey, he'd be mad selfied up. He'd be mad selfied up.
No.
Mad
it's
uncomfortable too. Dude, he posted a selfie. Nah, it was a video. What you call it? An instant video. My man had a bench press competition, and unbeknownst to him and his old ass, my man put the camera right near his crotch. He's having a bench press off, and all you see is his crotch thrusting up and down. I was like, man, you must be the oldest motherfucker on Instagram.
Hey, that's what we didn't got old then. That's because you didn't even know.
Yeah. I was like, man, if you don't get this video up off this month, man, it's terrible.
All right, last up, man. What do y'all think about this? The millennialness that's gonna happen with this New Jersey Nets thing, not New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets situation potentially. I'm
all for it.
But hold on, you just said a minute ago you didn't want to see the drama. That's Housewives of Brooklyn waiting to happen.
No, I said I didn't want to see the drama on draft night when these cats in season and everything that goes along with it. I'm all in.
Okay.
Like, season drama, boom, let it be. Let Kyrie and Kev, you know what I'm saying, talk about flat Earth. You know what I'm saying? Go to flat Earth. I'm all for that in season. Like, I love the personality game. So,
no, I think it's gonna. I'm excited to see it, bro. Like, 'cause I just think it's gonna be so intriguing. Like, it's gonna be so many storylines that come out of Brooklyn, man. Like, I mean, you got three dudes that are probably some of the most skilled dudes in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But also three, you can coin. Well, Kyrie's definitely a basket case. Kevin Durant's probably not a basket case, but he's very emotionally.
He's stereotypically millennial.
Yeah, stereotypical Manila. He's probably not very emotionally developed. And then James Harden is definitely, once again, he's also like in that same basket. So I it's gonna be crazy to me. Like I'm looking for all the fireworks. I can see the
And
crazy
Steve Nash is their coach. That's the funniest part about all this on the low that
Wow.
nobody's talking about.
It's gonna be a question of how do you score 187 points a game, make it to the playoffs? Like, how did that happen?
Because we know Kyrie ain't gonna play D. We know Harden ain't gonna play D. KD will play D, but everybody else ain't gonna play D.
But I do think this. I'm gonna say this. I think Cass is way too hard on KD. I don't think KD is as emotionally immature as people say he is. I think he's better than that. I don't think he cares.
But see, that the problem is,
he cares to
is
show
that he
who he is.
he wanted to be on the team with Kyrie. That's what makes me suspect. The idea that you thought that it was a good idea to be on the Nets with Kyrie is a problem, because that is automatically I'd be like, okay, I'd go play for the Washington team and just figure it out there before I go play with him.
Why? Like, why? Why would you?
Where's Kyrie?
Like,
where's Kyrie been good? When
only
has Kyrie
has so
been
many
a good
options.
teammate? Where has Kyrie been a good teammate at?
When has he been a good teammate, or when has he been a good player on a team?
No, he's been a good player. When he's been
a good player on a team in Cleveland, but when has he been good teammate? Maybe subjective, maybe not. A good player on a team.
He said that's not. That's not. That's not.
I mean, Mike Jordan, classic example. Mike Jordan was a horrible teammate.
But he won.
He was a horrible teammate.
But he won.
Before Kyrie messed up his knee, he was doing Curry in the finals in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Doing them. Like, it wasn't even close. Who was the best player on the floor for Cleveland in that series? I argue it was Kyrie all day, every day till he messed up his knee. I think Kev had limited options. Like, what squad was you going to join that gave you the best chance to win? And I think Kev is about winning. So he wasn't going to go he wasn't going to be like, yo, I'm going to go to, Phoenix and just carve out my legacy because I want to be the man. He was like, yo, I'm trying to win. So I can't be that mad at him. And I don't think he's emotionally as immature as people say he is.
I disagree 100%. I think Kyrie is nuts. I think Kyrie is nuts, like nuts. And I think KD is as soft as they come, personally. Like, I mean, I don't know the kid. You know what I'm saying? To me, when you get, like, if you at that level and you get emotionally involved in having a whole burner account just to,
yeah, that was real messed up.
Yo, that's some pancake stuff to me, bro. Like, yo, you like making millions of dollars a year, man. Like, you got 2 rings? Like, you should be at a higher level now. You should never get like us to get drugged down to that point, to me. So that means he cares too much to me about what other people think about him. And so because of that, I feel like it's just not going to work in Brooklyn, man. Like, what we learned about sports, especially basketball, is that it's chemistry, right? Like, you got to have chemistry. You got to like the Lakers showed that this year. Like, it's about, and the Clippers show that too, like, about how much chemistry matters. Like, it's a big deal. Like, you got to be able to trust guys that you play with. You got to be able to like guys that you play with. Like, I think them dudes are going to hate each other personally. At the end of the day, like, none of them have been in situations where they were like players. And nobody likes playing with Kyrie. Nobody likes playing with James Harden. I think people like playing with KD, but I think he's just so emotionally insecure. Like, I think it comes out over time. So I think it's going to be a train wreck personally. And I'm ready to watch it.
Well, what's even funnier is that.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask this. Let me throw this.
Go ahead.
Mix, because I feel like Cass be waxing mad poetic about other dudes being emotionally insecure. Was Jordan emotionally insecure?
Probably, but we just didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's my point.
Well, no, I got this thing. My thing is, shout out to Matt. He couldn't make it, but he says he thinks Kyrie gonna get traded. He said Kyrie don't know he's the one that's gonna get traded for Harden. He said Kyrie just don't know yet.
That might be the most Brooklyn move they make. That might be.
He said that's what Matt said. He said he just don't know that he for the one to get traded.
Man, I like the drama of it though. I think it makes my life better. I'm sure they're gonna have terrible seasons. They will have terrible lives next year. But it's going to be so interesting for me. I'm going to enjoy it so much.
I mean, it could be a point that they can't even get rid of Harden. He may still end up in Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, what you gonna get for him? None. It's not gonna be enough for you to value the comeback for it.
No, I agree. It's gonna be interesting to see how they try to pull this off, man. I don't. It's very interesting, man. The NBA's got a lot of storylines next year, which I think is, to me, I think that's a beautiful thing about the best part of the NBA is the fact that the NBA as a brand has found a way to really highlight, just capitalize on this whole millennial thing, and the fact that people want to know people's stories. Like in NFL, you really don't care about stories; it's more about the team and the game. The NBA, you want to know about the stories. Like, I want to know what's going on, with these dudes. Like, honestly.
And the NBA's thinking to the future a lot more. I think the NFL realizes that they're not going to be around in 20, 30 years. I've always thought that they're not going to be as viable.
Yeah. No question.
Because basketball's starting to do camp. They're going to try to do the soccer model that Europe is doing, where basically you're going to go to an academy, where you're going to go, if you dope at 8 years old, they just going to you just go to one of them IMG academies off the jump, and it just feeds you into the NBA system automatically. You won't even go to a regular high school. From 8 years old, you go to an academy.
Makes way more sense. Way more sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, just from a talent standpoint, from a revenue standpoint, from it'll get rid of the sham of this called the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes way more sense. Like, why are these kids going to college? Like, to do why does Zion have to go to school? Like,
they said the NBA doesn't like the NCAA. The NFL is more attached to the NCAA. They said the NBA does not like the way the crooked stuff going on, because they said it affects players getting into the draft and all kind of stuff. They got to deal with on the back end with 5 agents for one kid. Hold on.
I think the NBA is lying about that. I think they like it. I think they like it because it's still cheap labor. It's a cheap pipeline. The NBA,
but I've been reading. They want the pipeline now. They want to control everything now.
They think they do.
If you
said they think they do. I think they think they do, but
I think they do, man. If you're the NBA, bro, like, wow, if you see a talent like Zion coming up, like, why would you have to wait a year to get that money that Zion's gonna bring to the NBA? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why wait a year or 2 years to get that money? Like, you want that money now. And on top of that, if he's in a pipeline as a freshman in high school, and you can already start making money off of Zion as a freshman in high school, why not capitalize on making that money off of Zion?
Because Zion coming out of high school is not going to be, well, Zion is a bad example because perhaps Zion coming out of high school was ready to play at the NBA level. But Ja Morant coming out of high school is not ready to play at the NBA level. So kind of like the same picture. So it's like the same.
But what if Ja Morant was in an academy, though, since he was 8, 9 years old, and you was able to build him up and able to, get his skill level up where he would be at that level and ready?
That becomes the question. So are you going so basically you got a baseball system where you carry in the expense of the minor leagues. So you got 8, you gambling that Ja's going to be good. What if Ja's not?
Good point.
Versus what if Ja is dope in AAU and then Ja decides he's going to go to Murray State, and then he goes to Murray State for 2 years and balls out, and you like, yo, I didn't have to pay anything for Ja to be good. And at the same time, Ja was dope. You know what I'm saying? It was all these other cats that was dope. I didn't have to put out any cash for that, but now I can reap the benefits of it. So that's why I think they full of shit when it comes to disliking the NCAA, because the reality is it's the cheapest farm system they could ever have. The cheapest farm system they could ever have, and they'll always be able to take advantage of it because they're the only end game. Unless cats ain't getting drafted to go to Europe. Like, it's not a competitive situation. Like,
no,
I got drafted to play in Europe or I got drafted to play in the NBA. Like, everybody wants to be drafted in the NBA. So why not take advantage of that cheap labor?
Yeah. Well, fellas, thank y'all for coming on, man. Dude, we have to do it again when Matt breaks away from himself, man. And I appreciate this, man. So once again, where can everybody hit up with y'all website to get in touch with y'all, to get in there, get their workout on?
Yeah, if you go to titleboxingclub.com, and then if you go to search for state and go to the state of Missouri, obviously, and then go to Maplewood, you'll see our class schedule. The first class is always free. You have to sign up on the website to schedule a class, but it doesn't cost you anything. Love to have you come out, come check us out. Amazing environment, great trainers, people that really care about your well-being and your development. People that are going to really take the steps to help you be successful from a fitness standpoint. So come check us out, man.
What can I hit you up on social media wise for the Title Boxing Gym? What is your social media setups?
So if you
Uh-oh, D, he doing exactly what you just said.
He
D, he's
doing
like, I gotta find out my handle.
It's real. It's real. It's real. He said, "What's my handle? Girl, how can you reach me?
Instagram is Title Boxing Maplewood, and if you go to Facebook, it's facebook.com/Maplewood, Title Boxing Maplewood. So, yeah, check this out.
Okay. D, do you want to hit you up online anywhere? Or you ain't?
Nah, come through the business portal. I'm always through the business portal because I don't know my.
You'd have to look yours up too.
My names. Yeah. I know my phone number. That's all I got.
Well, fellas, thank y'all as always, man, and we will be back soon. Peace.
Definitely, man. We'll holler at you.